So I'm Kenny, and I've been fishing for 9 years.
I'm Zach, and I've been fishing for around 7 years.
I was in Japan with my grandfather, and I was at an amusement park, and there was a little fishing hole, and so I said, "Hey, can you take me?" And he said, "Okay." And we actually didn't really know how to fish, but nonetheless, we went, and on my last cast, I caught a fish, and since then I was hooked.
So my first experience fishing was in Vermont, and I always wanted to try fishing, so I asked my dad to take me, and on my first cast I caught a perch. It was really exciting.
So I fish because it allows me to immerse myself in nature, and also it's surprisingly social, and it's great when you're with someone else in a boat.
Adding on to what Kenny said, it's a relief from any and all stress that builds up over the week.
So I made my first lure when I was in 5th grade, and it's quite ugly, but it's made out of wood, and the paint's pretty crappy. But you know, Zach thinks it's really funny because it's awfully childish. But anyhow, now I make my own lures. I still make them. I either carve or I melt plastic, and so it's a lot of fun.
So my first time making or building a lure was actually in Kenny's house, and we were making soft plastic worms, and it was a fun experience.
So I just started making a swim bait recently, and it took quite a long time, but with all the carving and finishing and sealing and whatnot. But I caught my first fish on it the other day, and I was really happy with it. And I also started building a rod recently, and I have built a rod previously, but this time I'm using some different techniques in the guide layout, which is quite difficult, but I'm having a fun time building.
I actually haven't made any hard plastic lures, but one thing that I did do to improve my bait casting reel was I didn't want the magnetic braking system anymore, so I removed that and then put a plastic side plate as a replacement so it would cast further.
Where we plan to use OpenSource through our fishing club, and so we teach kids or members of the club how to build lures. We'd assist them with carving or making molds or any sort of new techniques.
It's also a big privilege to have tools that we normally wouldn't have access to outside of open source, so that's a big plus.
This lure.
I was showing you this lure. It's so ugly. It's so ugly.